Hello and welcome back, fellow disc golf enthusiasts, to coverage of the 2023 European Open, a prestigious event on an amazing course. We appreciate you joining us once again for coverage at Nokia Disc Golf Park. This is Round 1 Back 9 MPO feature card coverage brought to you by MDG Media. I'm Connor Wood, happy to be bringing you this exciting event here. We've seen some great enthusiasm from the spectators despite some imperfect scoring weather. We see some scorching hot front nines. A series of players tied in first at 7 under. Kyle, Oni Arminen, Oni Russinen, Jakob Semerad, Hjalmar Fredriksson, and a series of players tied in 6th before them. The field is very hot. The course is very attackable despite the rains which I mentioned, and excited to see how our feature card takes on this back 9. We see here a beautiful overhead of hole 10, a 230 meter par 4, demanding very precise lines and good accuracy into a narrow fairway. Players will need a long straight drive as the fairway then begins to bend left, narrowing between the fence and the road on the right. You have OB on all sides and the basket tucked away behind a series of small saplings. Although they may look small, they do a great job at guarding this basket and green. We see here the speed which players are playing with. Ricky Wysocki getting us started. A long pushing shot here. But fading out a touch early, does not hit that 90-degree bend to the left and will be OB. We'll see Lauri look to make the correction now. Is pushing this large tree to the right. If he can fade before it and get enough distance, he can. That is an ideal drive right into the sweet spot. That will allow him to have a straight look at the green. We see a similar line from Kevin here, really needing to push that tree, fade just before it, and smooth. He's done just that while avoiding the OB long by just a meter. Niklas getting this turned over a little bit too much, will contend with some of these branches. And as he filters through, sits down just underneath it, will still have an open look for the hyzer approach to the green. The rains are pouring down now. These players battling the course as well as the rest of the field and also the elements here. Niklas with an amazing approach. Look at the touch and display of accuracy there. Great angle integrity on his hyzer. One angle the whole way and gets the distance just right. That is a really nice shot from Niklas. We'll see Kevin here try to match that precision. Coming up a little bit shorter, we see a soft roll towards OB, although it keeps it well safe. That is the potential danger of a disc coming in on too much of a spike hyzer angle here. If you get perpendicular to the lower part of the hill, you can find a roll. We see Ricky here spiking that one in. Although it's only his second throw, it is his third stroke with the OB, so Ricky will be putting for par. And Lauri, just as his hyzer was swinging in, caught one of those small barriers and does not come back in bounds. Yeah, still has a lot of distance. That is the problem with the hyzer approach, that you have to cross so early over the out of bounds that if you don't bring it back in late, you see the distance he's left with, although an amazing touch there from Lauri as well on the forehand approach to curl up to the basket. Kevin with a long birdie look. A healthy run, but as a result leaves himself with a tester putt coming back. Ricky now looking downhill for par. Right in the chains, and you see the fist bump. You see what it means to him. Kevin a touch low, but stoic as ever. Takes one little pump to ensure he has a good line and good grip, and taps in his bogey. Both Ricky and Kevin finding troubles of their own, but Niklas Anttila dissecting the very difficult hole 10, leaving himself with a tap-in birdie. as Lauri as well, with that OB penalty, finds the 5. Hole 11, a 131 meter par 3. You see the fairway narrow quite considerably. As you then move towards these late trees, the gaps get even smaller. Although the drone will fly here on the left side of this tree, a lot of players will choose to enter the green from the right side, either over all of those trees or before them, but you do see this pond here, small water feature guarding the green and preventing anything coming in too low. We have seen some players skip over it, although a very difficult finesse line, often not quite intentional, but a good result of an overstable hyzer approach. This one requiring a really solid power and angle control into a very tight green and a very tight fairway. We have Niklas up first, hanging it out the right side. This is a very common line that the majority of players will choose to play. Although a little bit too wide, he does not swing back inbounds in time. We'll see if Ricky can make the correction. A huge power hyzer here, a lot of height on that, as he's opting to crash over and through the trees. We see the speed that he comes into the green with, and he also does not manage to sit it down safe. We'll still have an open look at his par save though. That looked to be really close from Ricky. Lauri with a little bit more width and a little bit less height, and unfortunately he finds the pond. None of our players able to connect with the green cleanly. Kevin now. This looks considerably left. Oh, but that tree keeps him dead center fairway. And although I think that's not the throw he wanted, an absolutely fine result, especially considering the misfortune of the other players finding some penalty strokes. Kevin there for a long look at birdie, is left with that putt for a par. The rest of our players will have awkward par saves. And Niklas with an amazing bid, but just off the rim. You saw how wide he straddled there. A really solid chance. We'll see if Lauri can give it a shot as well. A little bit deflating there for him. Not quite the bid he hoped to give that. This is Ricky from OB Long. And he cashes it. Incredible par save. As we see the 3 from Kevin. Both Niklas and Lauri left with their putts for bogeys now. Hole 11, one of the most difficult par 3s. And you can see just why. The incredibly narrow fairway, the very tight green, as well as the series of obstacles along the way. Our players move to hole 12, a 183 meter par 4. You have this initial gap which you need to hit. It is imperative if you want a chance at par or even birdie, you have to hit that gap. As you then fight over this high floor and low ceiling, you have the fairway sloping right to left. A lot of players will opt for something that finishes to the right side to try and battle the slope a little bit. A lot of times the backhand can catch a little bit too much fade and filter down there. As you work your way along this hill under the low ceiling through the trees, you make your way to this small basin green with a drop off to the left and OB long and to the right. If you can, a lot of players will choose to go forehand twice in a row. Ricky here, shaping this really nicely. The height incredible to battle the low ceiling, gets a solid skip and a nice use of the stability there to hold a one angle pushing hyzer. That is an ideal shot off the tee. Kevin here, not an uncommon play. The backhand roller, really friendly to get distance and ensure some rightwards movement, but not quite having the release point I'm sure he was looking for. Niklas looking to do the same, has incredible accuracy with his rollers. One of the most impressive parts of his game, distinctive for him and his play style. is just how accurate he is with those rollers, and we see him right up there by Ricky with a very nice shot, even caught a root along the way, losing some of the power. But you'll see Lauri now playing the stock forehand hyzer, very nicely placed. Doesn't quite have the distance that both Ricky and Niklas got, although it may help it's not needed. He'll still have a chance. We see Kevin there with a look, although you can see just how tight it is with these low-hanging branches, as well as the rain here today, giving a little bit of extra weight to those. They'll be hanging lower than usual. This is Lauri now, looking to get a touch of understability and turn it over, but the branch steals the steam out of his shot, and he fades out very early. We'll see if Ricky can find this. This is an amazing tee shot. As he fires this hyzer into the green, you see a great touch, catching the hillside and skipping into that backboard. He is absolutely parked and will be looking at a birdie here on hole 12. Niklas now to match. And he fades out left too early. Looked to have caught one of those last guardians on the way. See a very smooth upshot from, I believe, Kevin. Lauri here, left with an awkward blind approach, high and hyzer release. And nicely done despite the unideal circumstances. This is Niklas from down the hill. Going back up, not a bad bid. Although that was for his birdie. We'll be looking at a par now. We see similar result for Lauri, catching a branch along his way. Ricky, after two perfect shots, left with that short putt for birdie, as he for the first time today sneaks into the lead on this feature card, sitting at 4 under. Niklas remaining at 3. And Kevin as well, catching his par, sitting at even right now. Hole 13, a 187-meter par 4. You have to hit this series of initial gaps here while battling both the high floor and the low ceiling. After navigating through all of these trees, the sign of a great drive is anything past these slightly purple trees on the left here. Once you break out into this open field, you have a good look at the approach available to these players, approaching from the left side of the tree, the right side of the tree, or through the V in the middle, although probably not advised. You have this basket well guarded here with the slope behind it and OB long, allowing players to choose their entrance into the green and their shot of choice. A great and thoughtful design. We see Ricky up first, getting that one on a slightly low release, although significant ground play and skip over the last hill. And you see him beat those exact trees which I mentioned. Mark, a great drive. He's up there in the open. Kevin with a great height, a more traditional air shot. And as a result, you see him get some great distance. About 20 meters or so past Ricky's there. Really smooth shot from Kevin. Niklas here playing the backhand, and you see an incredible display of height control and nose angle control, cresting that hill. Settling also out in the open. Nicely done by Niklas. Lauri here also leaning on that forehand, although coming out a little bit early and with significant hyzer. Never quite got to flat. He'll be left with a lot of distance now to the green. Although in the open, he'll need to push this one hard and flat. You see that he caught some branches on his way. Pulled a bit of speed off his disc. Comes up short just behind the tree. Ricky playing the backhand hyzer approach into this green, relying on that nice stability to get the ground play. A solid shot from him. Niklas in an ideal location here. Also opting to play the backhand approach into the green, but actually skipping into the tree and getting a nasty roll back. He'll be left way far away from the basket despite what was almost a perfect shot. A tough break for Niklas there. And Kevin with a smooth touch, an amazing drive, offering him the shortest approach of the card. Kevin well positioned for birdie. We see Lauri actually going through the V of the tree, but looking to give that one a bid. Fires long. As a result, this is Niklas off a tough break, rolling away from the tree, catching a branch on the putt. Very tricky. Ricky Wysocki catching high left side and actually spitting out the back. That was for his birdie. He'll be looking at a par save. And as Lauri misses that putt, you see the emotions pour out of him. That was his par, and he'll be taking a bogey. Kevin Jones with the birdie here, the lone one of this feature card. A 3 going a really long way, especially against this feature card. You'll see a par from Niklas, a par from Ricky, and a bogey from Lauri on hole 13, which is one of the more manageable par 4s. Not without its dangers, but very attackable hole, especially given the drives that these guys had. In the end, only Kevin finding the birdie. Hole 14, a 120-meter par 3 going slightly left to right. A lot of players will try and play the forehand if they have the power. What's really important here, though, is that you hit this gap as the drone flies. Going over this valley, you want to crash into the hillside with a lot of power. Even if you under or overturn a little bit, a lot of throws that do hit that gap with power tend to move quite favorably towards the basket. You can throw backhand or forehand, really allowing players to choose their shot and make their way to the green. We have Kevin up first. A beautiful hyzer flip up to flat. This looks amazing. And look at the touch. He is absolutely parked here on 14. Looking to put together 2 birdies in a row now. Ricky has snuck into the lead on this feature card at 4 under. Has a slightly lower release than Kevin, although a great stability, should get some ground play. And just like that, Ricky is also parked. 2 incredible shots, both with the forehand. This is Niklas showing us the backhand line. He's looking to have this turnover throughout the flight and flatten out at the end. We see him not quite catch the full fade at the left towards the end of the flight, although a very nice line, really accurately hitting that late gap. Lauri, who's very capable with the forehand, as we have seen, actually choosing to throw backhand here on 14. I think the harder of the 2 shots, and unfortunately not turning in time, is battling up the hill. Although a short upshot, he will have a stress-free 3. This is Niklas going uphill for birdie from circle 2. He's been shown to be great at this range. Oh, and it's so clean. The height, the hyzer angle, everything about that putt, just perfect as he puts that one in. Ricky with a very nice birdie. Kevin as well, both of them tapping in their 2s here on 14. And Lauri, unfortunately not able to pick up a birdie on this back 9 yet, tapping in his par. Hole 15. A 145-meter par 3 going downhill off the elevated tee. You have this initial island fairway with OB River dividing the fairway and the green. Players will choose to throw a positioning shot before the crossing and then jump putt or throw over towards the green, although they can also choose to get more aggressive and try to throw a huge hyzer into the green or a hyzer flip up the middle in a straight line, A great hole, really encouraging players to choose how much risk they want to accept. A slightly lower speed disc from Kevin in the hand. He's looking to just lay this up before the OB river. And he's done just that. A great shot to center fairway. Ricky's got a driver in his hands though. Is looking to go big on this. Playing the power hyzer. He needs to give this a ton of height and power, ensuring that it swings back into the left. Oh, as he comes up just shy of inbounds. Ricky will have gone OB very early. Not quite sure where he crossed. Niklas though, look at this aggressive line. Hyzer flip up the middle. Incredible angle integrity. He's so good at that shot. Getting the hyzer flip up to flat, not turning right at all, and ending with a soft fade. He is right up there. That is an incredible shot. Lauri here looking to do the same, although it's slightly more left than Niklas's. Will need it to sit down. Oh, and he cannot catch a break. He sneaks his way OB left on the green on what looks like a really nice line, just a matter of centimeters. Ricky on that right side playing a blind spike hyzer into the green. A very tough shot, and watch out, spotter. Spike hyzers are coming down. That's not rain, that's a disc. And Ricky sneaks OB again. A tough break, although he'll be given a chance to make the putt from the OB line. Kevin crossing over into the island. This is Ricky for double bogey. And just off the rim. Unfortunately, Ricky will be taking a big number here. This is Lauri for par. Just off the left side. Kevin for par. Really nice putt on this elevated basket. A great game plan and very well executed from Kevin. Speaking of great game plans, Niklas Anttila just 5 meters away, securing the birdie here on hole 15. One of the hardest par threes. A really impressive display there. As we see Ricky taking a 6 triple bogey. 4 throws with 2 penalty strokes. OB on the first and the second. And we see there from Lauri. A little bit deflated, although has all the skills in the world. He's going to try to put them together and end strong. Hole 16, a 222-meter par 4. Players will throw off the tee between these trees into this clearly marked fairway. You want to push as much distance as possible while ensuring that you stay in bounds. You want to push that left side fairway line as much as possible as you see this beautiful overhead angle of an island green. Very punishing if you miss it. Players need to spike one in and settle onto what is a small and sloped island. An infamous hole here at Nokia Disc Golf Park. See Niklas up first. A great navigation through the trees just shy of the OB line. That is a great spot. He can choose to lay up further down the fairway and take a short crossing, knowing he has a solid round, or he can try to attack to the green from there. We see Kevin with a slightly more forwards pushing line, more nose down, and we see also a really ideal position for him. Nicely done. Would be great to see Lauri have a strong finish here to round 1. Has had some incredible performances already this season. And winner of the Nokia Open has shown that he has all the skills to win here at the Nokia Disc Golf Park. We see Ricky now. Some great power hyzers there, very much a placement shot, although, as I mentioned, distance being a huge benefit. This is a very critical moment for Niklas Anttila to get into the green. And he's done just that. What precision. Leaving himself about 6 meters, 7 meters out for the birdie. We see Ricky going considerably higher and wider here, trusting more of a spike angle, and look at the heat that comes in with. These guys are just dropping bombs onto this island green. Lauri as well now. Some amazing throws, just such critical moment with the gallery. With the island, this can really be a touchy, technical shot. Despite requiring huge power, it really is about angle control. And we see Kevin fire a bit long there with a flex. Unfortunately, on that path, we'll need to re-throw with no penalty from his lie. And a great adjustment there as he is absolutely parked. Niklas makes the birdie putt to the applause of the crowd as he has put together 3 in a row and is currently sitting at 6 under par here on hole 16. Lauri securing that birdie on a tough hole. Great to see him get some green on the scorecard. Ricky as well, perfect execution. And a great bounce back after a triple bogey on 15. Kevin there simply taking the par due to the fact that the island does not give the penalty stroke. If you are to miss it, it is simply a rethrow from the same spot. Players will move to hole 17. A par 3 at 140 meters. Downhill the entire way. You do have OB lining all sides of this small island within the park. This right to left slope as well playing considerably, especially for those backhand throws off the tee. A lot of speed coming into this green can spell your doom. Fast green on a slope way down there. A lot of players will be encouraged because of the distance to throw a driver and to throw it hard. But you really need to control your angles and pace coming in. We see Niklas up first, turning this one over to mitigate the risk of fading out left with the slope. Very common result for players with the backhand to try and avoid that OB left side. Lauri here looking to have a similar line. Gives it more out to the left, trusting the turn. And that is a great touch by him to put himself just within the circle, putting for birdie. Ricky slips on the tee. Having rained all morning, they were a little bit slick, although you see the power forehand coming into play. I believe Ricky just outside the circle despite the slip. Still a very commendable shot. Kevin here really pumping this one out to flat. Incredible distance, and as he looks to battle that last tree, doesn't get the complete finish towards the basket, but really good throw regardless, and putting for birdie. I think Niklas just laying this one up. And not even an easy layup on the slope with the wet grass, but nicely done by him. Ricky gives it a bid and catches the pole, settles it nice and soft. This green has a very prevalent chance of roll away if you catch anything other than chains, but Lauri Lehtinen is having none of that. Putting 2 birdies together in a row now on 16 and 17 as he continues to battle his way back towards par. We see Kevin now for birdie. A nice strong side, high and right with his hyzer putt. A great catch. Both Ricky and Niklas taking the pars. We look to close it out here on hole 18, a 213 meter par 4. You see that this fairway goes first straight and then takes a dogleg 90 degrees to the right, up the hill, curving softly to the left, the basket perched with OB tucked just shy left of the green to ensure that anything that is not committed to either the distance or the width will be punished. A great ending hole, allowing players to throw a big bomb off the tee, a big bomb up the hill, and then look to make their putt on this elevated basket. Another potentially signature hole of the Nokia Disc Golf Park, where legends are made here on hole 18. Lauri playing the power forehand here over the OB the entire way, bringing it back inbounds. That is nicely positioned. Anything more right of the fairway will allow you to have less distance towards the green. We see Kevin here playing a big flex line. An Anheuser release with a great overstable finish to that disc, really trusting his angles. And speaking of angles, Niklas Anttila going to give us the backhand line here. And a great touch there. You see him not get quite as much forwards push there, but really perfect in the fairway and very well positioned to attack for birdie. All three of those drives. And let's just make it 4 here, because Ricky has smashed this forehand all the way up and around the corner. An incredible drive that is just so much further than the other 3. We have Niklas up first now, looking to push the green. Needing to get the distance right to skirt around OB. He actually catches one of the OB markers and will be left with a par putt from about circle 2. Lauri playing higher and wider. A little bit more understability, going nose up with the uphill, and an amazing fade at the end to get himself into the circle. Looking to close out with 3 birdies at the end of a tough round for him. Great composure and a great battle. Kevin there also with a great shot, playing the huge spike hyzer into the green, and incredible accuracy from him as well. Ricky so far up there has much more of a straight look, although still plays the hyzer. And gets a skip off the stage? Right at the cameraman's feet. Niklas, a huge moment now. And of course, not happy with that, although he's put together an amazing round regardless of how it finishes. Ricky there ending on a birdie. A roller coaster of a back 9 with 4 birdies and 1 triple bogey. Ricky ending at 4 under. Niklas taking the unfortunate bogey on 18, ending his round at 5 under. Lauri for birdie. And incredible. Really, he had significant struggles off both the tee and on the green. But 16, 17, and 18 going his way. Kevin Jones as well, securing the birdie here on the final hole. What a round. We had it all. We had the rain, we had the sun, we had the birdies, we had the bogeys. As we take a look at the standings at the end of round 1, Kyle Klein in the solo lead position with 10 under. Tied in second, we have a series of players: Nestori, Ezra, Oni Arminen, Oni Rusanen, and then tied in 6th at 8 under, Paul Macbeth, Bradley Williams, Eagle McMahon, Jakob Semmered, Hjalmar Fredriksson, and more, with only 2 strokes separating the entire top 10 from 10 under to 8 under. The battle will continue in round 2, and an exciting one at that. Thank you for supporting us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you in round 2 coverage of the European Open. Have a great day, and we'll see you there.